FIST is a youth group. We're against racism, we're against sexism, we're against homophobia, and we're also, we believe socialism is the answer to the current crisis that is facing the world. So when I say crisis, I mean, let's be straight up about it. Banks are failing right now. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, you know, the economy is basically collapsing if you follow it. And the government just said that they're going to bail out Wall Street with $700 billion. Okay? And it's interesting that Wall Street is getting this bailout when, you know, we're not getting this bailout because, you know, my summer I worked in Detroit. I was working on a campaign to stop home foreclosures in Detroit, and Detroit is hit pretty hard. It looks like New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. It really does. There's whole neighborhoods that are empty, of houses that are decayed, they're like rotting. You know, no one's lived in them for years, and it's just like whole neighborhoods. It looks like a ghost town or a disaster movie or something. It's really disturbing to walk through it, and the dead silence in the middle of a city neighborhood. You know, it's city residential area, just dead silence, no kids playing houses, and that's kind of disturbing. And that's I mean, Detroit, Cleveland, Los Angeles, cities are drying up because of predatory lending. It's a quick way to make money is to, you know, do predatory lending. But the interesting thing about all of this is if you had said to anyone in this room, I'm sure like 2 years ago, right, okay, in 2 years, every bank in this country, or not every bank, but the biggest banks in this country are going to be in a state of collapse, would you believe them? I probably wouldn't have. And if someone had said to you that, you know, the U.S. is going to be engaged in Iraq still, and is going to be threatening to go to war with Iran, and seriously considering going to Iran, and the war in Afghanistan was going to heat up to an extreme, if they said that to you, would you have believed them? You know, would you have believed that a major party would nominate a black man for president of the United States? I'm all for a black president, but you know, would you have believed that? You know, would you have thought that was possible? You know, it's really interesting. One of the basic concepts of Marxism is something called dialectics, which is the idea that things change over time. Nothing is constant. The only thing constant is change. Often, you know, when I say I'm socialist, I'm for socialism, people say, well, that'll never happen because, you know, if you look around, people are against socialism, people are opposed to these ideas, but the only thing constant is change. Nothing is static. Things are constantly changing over time. So, you know, I will say, first of all, I'm really happy with the turnout people have had tonight. I'm really happy with the number of people who've come out and joined us here tonight. But I will say, it's not as much as there should be, you know. With the economy the way it is, with the wars and all that, things aren't the way they should be, and people are kind of scared of socialism. You know, it's kind of a scary concept. You know, we're taught that, you know, Stalin, and, you know, I mean, just these horrible things, and we're taught to avoid concepts like that. In fact, this symbol here I have on my shirt, can everyone see it? Mm-hmm. It's the hammer and sickle, and people are afraid of that symbol. I've worn it around. People say to me, how can you wear that symbol? It's a scary, you know, frightening symbol. But we have to think about what that symbol represents, because I know what it means, okay? I know that the hammer in that hammer and sickle was my father, who worked in a bookbindery to waste his way through college. And I know that the sickle is my grandfather, who was a farmer. And I know that the hammer is most of us in this room. Anyone who works for a living is a worker. That's you. And anyone who's a farmer, has worked in the agricultural industry or getting food out there, that's the sickle. The hammer and the sickle is us. That's who it is. It's a symbol we should all be wearing with pride. It's the working class. That's what that stands for. It's you, it's me, it's all of us. But it's not the ruling class. Now, what do I mean when I say ruling class? I put forth a basic Marxist concept that at the top of the society, there's a group, okay? We're talking about people who own big banks, people who own oil wells, people who own huge farms, agribusiness, people with the vast majority of the wealth in this country and in the world are the ruling class. They rule the society. We don't rule the society. They own the media, they own the banks, they own it all. They own the society. They own the politicians. For example, every politician, whoever has a chance of winning, has to get millions and millions of dollars from these big banks and institutions. If you get on, there's a website, opensecrets.org. It has, and this is not just a website. I know a lot of people say, well, it's a website. You know. It has government public information of who gives money to presidential candidates, or any candidate for public office in this country. And it's public record that Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, National City, all these banks are funding both Barack Obama and John McCain. They get funding from both of them. If you want to vote for someone, you're gonna, who has a chance of winning, you're gonna vote for somebody who is in the pocket of the rich. And this country is dominated by the ruling class, and the way this ruling class operates is their goal is to make a profit. And then when it comes down to it, in a lot of ways, profit comes before human life. Profit is the primary concern in this system. If you take all kinds of things, you take the environment. What's more profitable? Is it more profitable to pump emissions into the air? Yes. So people do it. Now we're facing global warming. Is it more profitable to go to war in Iraq and because Saddam Hussein wasn't going to let the U.S. run the oil? Yes. And so now people are dying in Iraq. People at this college have relatives who are over there dying. Profit is what's the driving force behind the capitalist system, and it is the enemy of humanity. And it's the enemy of a clean earth. It's the enemy of the very values which I think all of us believe in, of cooperation and things like that. So when I talk about socialism, now socialism is what I believe in. It's the idea that the means of production, okay, we're talking about factories, farms, banks, should be run by the people. That instead of this elite having control of society, the people should have control of society. Socialism is a really democratic idea if you think about it. The people having control of society. All of these things should be run by the people. That's what socialists advocate. And for everyone who says that socialism doesn't work, I encourage you to visit something called the Cia World Factbook. Now the Cia World Factbook points out that the infant mortality rate, that's the number of babies that are dying at birth, is lower in Cuba than it is in this country. And that Cuba has the highest life expectancy in Latin America. It also points out that there's a higher literacy rate in Cuba than there is in this country. It points out that, and I'm not saying, and something people kind of slip into is what you call the perfect solution fallacy. Socialism has problems. I'm not going to say it doesn't have problems. I'd be a fool to not say it has problems. But for people say, well, it has problems, therefore it's not valid, but it's better. It's better for people to have a job. The right to a job, people having the right to a job, no unemployment, that's better than having people be unemployed. It is better, okay, it is better for people to be able to see a doctor when they're sick, no question about it. That's better. It's better for, free education from kindergarten to university. That's, it's better. It's a better future that we can offer with socialism. And it really comes down to what's in this country is going on is a class struggle between the ruling elites of bankers, capitalists, who run this country and the people. And that's really what's going on. And I want to get students involved in fighting for a better future, the better future we can build by organizing and fighting for socialism, a future where the means of production are in the hands of the people, and we can start moving towards democracy and justice for all. That's what I'm fighting for, and I hope you'll get involved with FIST because that's the organization that we're about, and we're here to discuss this and